The small ship drifted through space, its engines coughing and dying. Inside, Krixva pressed his six-fingered hands against the control panel, his soft purple skin turning pale with fear. Beside him, Velmoth clicked her mandibles together nervously, her insect-like eyes reflecting the flashing red warning lights. "Life support is at 15%, Krixva said, his voice shaking. "We have maybe 3 hours." Velmoth's antennae drooped. "No one knows we're here. This route was supposed to be safe." They were diplomats, not warriors. Their species had never known war. Krixva's people were gentle herbivores who spent their days in peaceful debate. Velmoth's kind lived in harmony, sharing resources across their hive worlds. Neither had ever faced real danger before. "Wait," Krixva said, reaching under his seat. He pulled out a small metal device, old and covered in strange symbols. "I bought this from a trader. He said it was an emergency beacon." "You trust a trader?" Velmoth asked, but she had no better ideas. Krixva activated the device. It hummed to life, sending out a signal into the dark. They didn't know what frequency it used. They didn't know who might answer. They only knew they were dying. And this was their last hope. Far away, across 3 star systems, Admiral Taejin stood on the bridge of the UNS Indomitable. He was a tall man with gray at his temples and eyes that had seen too many battles. Around him, 17 human warships moved in perfect formation, running practice drills. "Admiral," Haewon called from her station. The young communications officer's fingers flew across her screen. "I'm picking up something strange." "Old frequency. Very old." Taejin walked to her station. "How old?" "First contact war era," Haewon said, frowning. "I didn't think anyone still used these codes." "Play it." The message was broken, full of static. But the meaning was clear. "Life support failing. No weapons. Please help." "It's not one of ours," Hyunwoo said from Tactical. The calm officer pulled up a star map. Taejin studied the data. The ship wasn't human. It wasn't from any of Earth's allies. For all he knew, it could be a trap. But the message didn't sound like a trap. It sounded like people dying. "How fast can we get there?" he asked. 4 hours at maximum burn," Hyunwoo replied. "But sir, our orders are to complete the training exercise." Taejin looked at the message again. He thought about his daughter back on Earth. He thought about what he would want if she was the one sending that signal. "All ships," he said into the fleet channel. "We have a distress call. All vessels, maximum burn. We're responding." "Sir?" Hyunwoo looked surprised. "You heard me," Taejin said. "Someone needs help. That's all I need to know." Across the fleet, 17 warships changed course. Their engines burned bright as they accelerated to speeds that would have torn apart most alien vessels. Inside, crews strapped into their seats, their bodies handling the G-forces that would have killed softer species. Haewon worked on the signal, trying to boost it, trying to send a message back. "I've got a translation matrix running," she said. "Basic mathematics. Universal concepts. They should understand we're coming." "How long do they have?" Taejin asked. "Based on their life support readings?" "Maybe 2 hours when we arrive." "It's going to be close." The Admiral nodded. "Then we don't waste time." On the dying ship, Krixva saw something on his sensors that made his heart stop. Ships. Big ships. Moving fast. Very fast. "Velmoth," he whispered. "Something's coming." "Rescue?" she asked, hopefully. "Maybe," Krixva said. But his hands were shaking. He pulled up the data his sensors were collecting. The ships were massive. They moved in military formation. Their engines put out more power than his entire world's space fleet combined. "Those are warships," he said quietly. Velmoth went very still. They both knew the stories. Out in the galaxy, there were species that took what they wanted. Pirates who enslaved the weak. empires that crushed anyone in their path. We asked for help, she said. Maybe they're peaceful? Warships aren't peaceful, Krixva replied. They watched the sensors as the ships got closer. 17 of them. More firepower than most planetary defense fleets. And they were coming here, to this empty system, where 2 helpless diplomats waited to die. Maybe dying from life support failure would be better, Krixva said softly. But they didn't have a choice now. The ships were too close. Too fast. In less than 4 hours, the unknown vessels would arrive. On the Indomitable, Taejin watched the clock. 3 hours. 2 hours. 1 hour. I've got them on visual, Hyunwoo said. The small alien ship appeared on the main screen. It was tiny compared to the human warships, elegant and curved where human ships were angular and armored. It was also clearly dying, venting atmosphere from a cracked hull. Life support? Taejin asked. Critical, Yuna reported from medical. The doctor was already preparing her equipment. They have minutes, not hours. All ships, form a protective perimeter, Taejin ordered. I don't want anything getting close to that vessel. The 17 warships moved into position. Their weapons powered but not armed. Their shields creating a bubble of safety around the small diplomatic ship. Inside that ship, Krixva watched in terror as the massive vessels surrounded them. Each one was 10 times bigger than his ship. Their weapons could destroy planets. Their shields glowed with power. This is it, he said to Velmoth. They're going to board us. Then we face it with dignity, she replied, though her voice shook. A message came through. The translation was rough, but they understood it. The voice was deep, male, speaking slowly and clearly. Unknown vessel. This is Admiral Taejin of the United Nations ship Indomitable. We received your distress call. We are here to help. Please respond if you can understand this message. Krixva and Velmoth looked at each other. Help? These monsters were offering help? With shaking hands, Krixva opened a channel. We understand. We are grateful. We are dying. Not today, the human admiral said. We've got you. Stay calm. We're coming aboard. Through the viewports, Krixva saw smaller ships launching from the warships, rescue craft, medical shuttles, engineering vessels, all moving toward his dying ship with purpose and speed. They're really going to help us, Velmoth whispered. I think so, Krixva replied, hardly believing it himself. The first human ship docked with a solid clang that shook their vessel. Krixva heard the airlock cycling. He heard heavy footsteps. Then, the inner door opened, and he saw them. Humans. They were tall, built like predators, with eyes that faced forward. They moved with deadly grace, even in their bulky rescue suits, but the first one through the door held up his hands, showing he carried no weapons. I'm Dong-sik, the human said through a translator. We're here to fix your ship. And just like that, the rescue began. Dong-sik moved through the alien ship with careful steps. Behind him, his team followed in silence. They were all trained for this. But it still felt strange. The ship was beautiful, all smooth curves and soft lighting, nothing like the hard angles of human vessels. Life support is that way, Jia said, pointing to a corridor. The young engineer held her scanner up, reading the ship's systems. It's completely fried. Radiation leak, too. Radiation? Dong-sik asked. Yeah, but it's not bad, like a sunny day on Earth. Krixva heard this and felt his stomach drop. A sunny day? This radiation would kill his people in hours. It had already made Velmoth sick. But these humans talked about it like it was nothing. Please, Krixva said, his translator working hard. My friend. Yuna stepped forward. The human doctor was shorter than the others, but she moved with confidence. She knelt beside Velmoth, her scanner already out. Radiation poisoning, Yuna said. Not too bad. I can treat this. You can? Velmoth clicked weakly. Sure. We deal with this all the time on Earth. Yuna pulled out an injector. This might feel cold. She pressed it against Velmoth's carapace. The insectoid alien tensed, but then her color started to improve. Within seconds, she was breathing easier. How? Krixva asked. That was so fast. Yuna smiled. Our world is harsh. We learned to fix these problems quick. While Yuna worked on Velmoth, Jia and her team reached the life support system. It was a mess. Human equipment would have shut down completely, but the engineer just rolled up her sleeves and got to work. I need to go outside, Jia said. The main power coupling is on the hull. Outside? Krixva asked. But there's radiation. And vacuum. You'll die. Jia laughed. I'll be fine. Our suits are good. She left through the airlock. Krixva watched on the monitors as she crawled along the outside of his ship. There was nothing between her and the deadly radiation of space, except a thin suit. She worked for 20 minutes, welding and rewiring, like it was the easiest thing in the world. On the bridge, Admiral Taejin was talking to Hae-won. The communications officer had finally gotten a stable translation working. They're diplomats, Hae-won reported, heading home from a trade mission. Their ship just failed. Bad luck. Any idea what species? Taejin asked. The purple one is Pluvian. Herbivore species. Never been in a war. The insectoid is from the Hive Collective. Also peaceful. Taejin nodded. So they're not used to danger. No, sir. I think we're scaring them. The Admiral thought about that. He opened a channel to the alien ship. Speaking directly to Krixva. I'm Admiral Taejin. I want you to know, you're safe now. We're not going to hurt you. We're just going to fix your ship and make sure you get home. Krixva's voice came back, shaky but grateful. Why? We are nothing to you. You don't even know us. Taejin was quiet for a moment. Because you asked for help, that's enough. On the alien ship, Krixva felt something strange. These humans, these deadly-looking predators, were being kind. More than kind. They were working hard to save two strangers. Admiral, Krixva said carefully, what is your world like? Earth? Taejin said. It's beautiful. Oceans and mountains. Forests and deserts. But it's also dangerous. Storms that can destroy cities. Animals that hunt in packs. Even the plants can kill you. We learned to be tough. And you learned to help others? That too, Taejin said. When your world tries to kill you every day, you learn to take care of each other. You learn that everyone deserves a chance. Jia came back inside, her suit steaming from the radiation. She pulled off her helmet and smiled. Got it. Power's coming back online. The lights in the alien ship grew brighter. The air started to circulate properly. The temperature stabilized. In 30 minutes, the humans had fixed what should have taken days. Dong-sik walked back to the bridge, where Krixva and Velmoth waited. Make sure nothing else goes wrong. You would do that? Velmoth asked. Of course, Dong-sik said, like it was obvious. Hyun-woo contacted the Admiral. Sir, we should bring them aboard the Indomitable. Their ship is stable, but barely. They'd be safer on the flagship. A.T. KZ. A.T. Taejin agreed. An hour later, Krixva and Velmoth stood in the docking bay of the human warship. It was huge. The ceiling was so high it had its own weather. Hundreds of humans moved around, all busy with tasks. Small fighter ships sat in neat rows, each one bristling with weapons. This is a warship, Krixva said quietly. Yes, Taejin said, meeting them at the airlock. But today, it's your ride home. He led them through the corridors. Krixva noticed everything. The humans were all tall, all strong. They moved like hunters, even when they were just walking. But they were also careful around the aliens, making sure not to bump into them, speaking softly. These are your quarters, Taejin said, showing them to a room. It had been modified quickly. The furniture was the right size. The lighting was soft. There was even food that their species could eat. How did you know what we eat? Velmoth asked. Hey-1 researched your species, Taejin said. We want you to be comfortable. That night, Krixva couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about everything. These humans had diverted an entire fleet to save 2 people. They had worked for hours to fix the ship. They had given up their own space to make the aliens comfortable. He walked to the observation deck. Through the massive windows, he could see the other human ships. They were flying in formation around the flagship, protecting it. Protecting him. Can't sleep? A voice asked. Krixva turned. It was Sang-ho, one of the fighter pilots. The young human had a friendly smile. I'm confused, Krixva admitted. Sang-ho nodded. Yeah, I get why that's weird. Want to know a secret? What? We're warriors because we have to be. Our world made us tough. But being tough doesn't mean being cruel. The strongest thing you can do is protect people who need help. Is that what humans believe? Most of us, Sang-ho said. We've fought each other before. We've done bad things. But we learned from it. We decided to be better. Krixva looked at the stars. The galaxy doesn't know about humans yet. Not really. They think you are just another species. We are, Sang-ho said. No. Krixva said quietly. You are something different. Something special. The pilot shrugged. We just answered your call. Anyone decent would do the same. But Krixva knew the truth. In all his years traveling the galaxy, he had never met anyone who would do what these humans did. They had come running when strangers called. They had brought an entire fleet. They had worked for hours to save 2 lives that meant nothing to them. Thank you, Krixva said. For everything. Sang-ho smiled. You're welcome. Now get some sleep. We've got 3 days until we reach your homeworld. The crew's planning a welcome party tomorrow. You haven't lived until you've tried human food. As the fighter pilot walked away, Krixva felt something he hadn't felt before. Hope. Maybe the galaxy could be a better place. Maybe, with humans in it, things would change. He just didn't know how right he was. The news traveled fast across the galaxy. A human fleet had diverted from military exercises to rescue 2 random aliens. 17 warships. Hours of travel. All for people they didn't know. In the Galactic Council chambers, hundreds of species gathered to watch the recordings. The footage showed human ships moving at impossible speeds. Their engines burning bright enough to be seen across systems. They moved that fast for strangers? Council member Plix asked, his scales rippling with disbelief. The translation is confirmed. Another member said. Their admiral said, because you asked for help as his only reason. Irrational, someone muttered, but others weren't so sure. Sunmi, aboard the Indomitable, monitored all the galactic chatter from her intelligence station. She compiled reports and sent them to Admiral Taejin. Sir, we're getting a lot of attention, she said. 23 different species are discussing the rescue. The council wants to know more about us. Taejin read through the reports. What are they saying? Mixed reactions. Some think we're dangerous. Others think we're stupid for using resources on non-allies. A few think we might be trustworthy. And what do you think? Taejin asked. Sunmi smiled. I think we just showed them what humans do best. We take care of people. 2. Meanwhile, Krixva and Velmoth were learning more about their rescuers. Nari, the human xenoanthropologist, had taken it upon herself to help the aliens understand human culture. Our species evolved on a world we call Earth, Nari explained. They sat in the mess hall, surrounded by curious human crew members. It's a beautiful place, but very dangerous. More dangerous than most worlds? Velmoth asked. Much more, Nari said. She pulled up images on a display. This is a hurricane. Wind speeds over 200 kilometers per hour. They can destroy entire cities. Krixva stared at the swirling storm. On his world, The strongest wind was barely a breeze. You have storms like this? Every year. Dozens of them. Nari showed more images. These are earthquakes. The ground shakes and breaks. Buildings fall. Mountains can rise or disappear in minutes. How do you survive? Velmoth asked. We build strong. We prepare. We help each other. Nari smiled. When a disaster hits, humans come from everywhere to help. It's just what we do. Sang-Ho joined them, carrying a tray of food. Don't forget the predators, he said, sitting down. Show them the big cats. Nari pulled up footage of lions hunting. Krixva watched in horror as the powerful animals chased down prey. These live on your world? Yep. Lions, tigers, bears, sharks, crocodiles. Oh, and the snakes. Some of them can kill you with one bite. And you live with these monsters? Krixva asked. They're not monsters, Sang-Ho said. They're just animals trying to survive. Like us. We learn to respect them. Most of them leave us alone now. Most? Velmoth clicked nervously. The pilot laughed. Sometimes we still have problems. But that's life on Earth. Later, Sang-Ho took the aliens to watch a training exercise. His fighter squadron was running drills in the ship's simulation bay. Krixva and Velmoth watched from the observation room as the pilots climbed into their fighters. They're so small, Krixva said, looking at the compact cockpits. Fighters need to be fast and agile, Sang-Ho explained. Watch this. The simulation started. The human pilots flew through impossible maneuvers. They spun and dove and twisted in ways that made Krixva dizzy just watching. The G-forces displayed on the screen showed numbers that would have crushed most species. How are they not dead? Velmoth asked. Training and biology, Sang-Ho said proudly. Humans can handle about 9 times our gravity for short periods. Our hearts are strong. Our blood vessels don't break easily. We black out sometimes, but we recover fast. That's insane, Krixva said. That's evolution on a high-gravity world, Sang-Ho replied. Earth's gravity is almost twice what most garden worlds have. We grew up strong because we had to. That evening, Yuna invited the aliens to the medical bay. She wanted to check on Velmoth's recovery from the radiation poisoning. You're healing perfectly, Yuna said, scanning the insectoid alien. No lasting damage. Your medicine is very advanced, Velmoth said. Advanced? Yuna laughed. This is basic field medicine. We developed it for combat situations. Combat? Krixva asked. Yuna nodded, her expression growing serious. Humans fought each other for thousands of years. Terrible wars. We learned a lot about treating injuries because we caused so many of them. That's horrible, Velmoth said. It was, Yuna agreed. But we learned from it. We stopped fighting each other and started working together. Now we use all that knowledge to save lives instead of taking them. An alarm suddenly rang through the ship. Krixva jumped, but the humans moved calmly. Yuna checked her screen. It's just a drill, she said. Medical emergency simulation. Within seconds, the medical bay was full of staff. They moved like a machine, each person knowing exactly what to do. We practice this every week, Yuna explained. When real emergencies happen, we need to be fast. Because your world is dangerous, Krixva said, understanding now. Because everywhere can be dangerous, Yuna corrected. We learned to be ready for anything. The next day, Admiral Taejin invited the aliens to his ready room. He poured them drinks, something warm and sweet that Krixva found pleasant. I've been reading about your people, Taejin said. Pluvians have never had a war, never needed an army. You solve everything through talking. Yes, Krixva said. Violence is not our way. That's beautiful, Taejin said, and he meant it. I wish humans could say the same. But you're so kind, Velmoth said. You saved us. You're taking care of us. How can violent people be so gentle? Taejin was quiet for a moment. He looked out the viewport at the stars. We're kind because we know what it's like to suffer. We've hurt each other. We've lost people we loved. We learned that causing pain is easy, healing it is hard. So we choose to heal. The galaxy doesn't understand you, Krixva said. I know. Taejin replied. They see our warships and our weapons and think we're dangerous. They're not wrong. We are dangerous. But we choose to use that strength to protect, not to harm. Sunmi entered the room. Sir, we're getting a formal message from the Galactic Council. They want to meet with you when we reach Pluvian space. About what? Taejin asked. They want to discuss humanity's role in the galaxy, Sunmi said. This rescue has raised questions. What kind of questions? The kind where they ask if we're planning to conquer anyone, Sunmi said with a slight smile. And if not, would we be interested in helping maintain peace? Krixva stood up. I will speak for you. I will tell them what you did. How you came when we called. How you asked nothing in return. You don't have to do that, Taejin said. Yes, I do, Krixva said firmly. The galaxy needs to know the truth about humans. You are not monsters. You are heroes. Taejin looked uncomfortable. We're just people. Doing what's right. Exactly, Krixva said. And that makes you special. As the fleet continued toward Pluvian space, the aliens spent more time with the crew. They learned about human music, human food, human games. They saw humans laugh and argue and work together. They saw a species that had climbed out of hell and decided to be kind anyway. And they knew the galaxy was about to change forever. Jae-sung had been a scout captain for 12 years. He knew how to read space, how to spot things that didn't belong. So when his sensors picked up unusual readings 2 systems ahead, he immediately went to investigate. What he found made his blood run cold. Indomitable. This is Scout 7, he said into his comm. On the flagship bridge, Taejin received the data from the scout ship. The display showed hundreds of signatures. Ships. Big ones. All heading in the same direction. Identify them, Taejin ordered. Hyunwoo worked his console, cross-referencing with known vessels. Sir, these match Krillian swarm patterns. Pirates. How many? At least 200 ships, maybe more. The bridge went quiet. 200 ships was a fleet. An armada. And they were heading toward Pluvian space. Krixva was brought to the bridge. When he saw the display, his skin turned almost white. No, 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 no. What is it? Taejin asked. The Krillian swarm. Krixva said, his voice shaking. They're slavers. Raiders. They attack weak systems and take everyone. My people just had a government change. Our defenses are scattered. We're vulnerable. How many people on your homeworld? Sunmi asked. 3 billion. Krixva whispered. All of them? Helpless. Velmoth clicked her mandibles in distress. The swarm will kill anyone who resists. They'll take the rest as slaves. An entire world. Gone. Taejin studied the tactical display. The pirates would reach Pluvian space in 6 hours. His fleet was closer, but not by much. He had 17 ships against 200. Sir, Hyunwoo said quietly, our orders are patrol duty. We're not authorized to engage unknown hostiles. I know our orders, Taejin said, but if we don't stop them... Hyunwoo didn't finish. He didn't need to. Taejin looked at Krixva, seeing the fear in the alien's eyes. He thought about 3 billion peaceful people who had never hurt anyone. He thought about his daughter. Back on Earth, he thought about what kind of man he wanted to be. Send a message to all ships, Taejin said. Captain's discretion. I'm asking for volunteers. Anyone who wants to help, form up on the flagship. Anyone who wants to follow orders and return to patrol. No judgment. You have 5 minutes to decide. The bridge crew looked at each other. Hae-won spoke first. I'm in. Me too, Hyunwoo said. Medical is ready, Yuna called from her station. One by one, every crew member on the Indomitable volunteered. Then the other ships started reporting in. UN's Defiant, we're with you, Admiral. UN's Stalwart, forming up. UN's Guardian, ready to fight. All 17 ships. Every single one. Not because they were ordered to. Because it was right. Ki-won arrived on the bridge in full combat armor. The Marine commander was a big woman, with scars on her face and fire in her eyes. My Marines are ready, sir. Just point us at the enemy. We're outnumbered more than 10-1, Taejin said. Ki-won grinned. Then it's a fair fight. Heejin was already running combat scenarios from the weapons station. If we hit them hard and fast, we can disable their command ships. The rest might scatter. Or they might all attack us at once, Hyunwoo said. Then we take them all down. Heejin replied calmly. Taejin opened a channel to Krixva's people. The Pluvian government answered immediately. Their leaders looking terrified. This is Admiral Taejin of the human fleet. We've detected a large pirate force heading your way. We're moving to intercept. You're going to fight them? The Pluvian leader asked. But there are so many. Yes, Taejin said simply. We're going to fight them. Why? We're not your allies. We've given you nothing. Taejin smiled slightly. You gave us Krixva. He's crew now. We protect our own. As the human fleet prepared for battle, word started spreading across human space. Merchant ships picked up the signal. Colony defense forces heard about it. Even civilian vessels started changing course. Admiral, Hae-won said, her voice excited. We're getting responses from other human ships. They're coming to help. How many? Taejin asked. 30 so far. More, every minute. The merchant captains are arming their ships. The mining colonies are sending their defense boats. Sir, everyone wants to fight. Sunmi pulled up the data. It's the emergency protocol. You called for help, and humans are answering. I didn't call for help, Taejin said. You sent out combat alert, Sunmi explained. Other humans saw it. They know what it means. Someone needs help. So, they're coming. Krixva watched in amazement as more human ships appeared on the display. They came from everywhere. Different designs, different sizes, but all heading to the same place. All ready to fight for people they'd never met. This is what you are, he said quietly. Sang-ho was briefing his fighter pilots. We'll be the first wave. Fast strikes on their command vessels. Make them confused. Make them scared. We're outnumbered 20-1 in fighters, one pilot said. Good, Sang-ho replied. Means we can't miss. The pilots laughed. They were scared, but they were ready. They had trained for this. Their entire lives on Earth had prepared them for this. Fighting against bad odds was what humans did best. In the medical bay, Yuna prepared triage stations. She knew there would be casualties. She just hoped there wouldn't be too many. Will we win? Velmoth asked her. I don't know, Yuna said honestly. But we're going to try our hardest. Why? You could just leave. Take us somewhere safe, and leave my people. Yuna looked at the insectoid alien. Could you do that? Could you fly away knowing 3 billion people were about to die? No, Velmoth admitted. Neither can we, Yuna said. It's not in our nature. Taejin sent one final message before the battle. Krillian Swarm, this is Admiral Taejin of the human fleet. You are approaching a protected world. Turn back now, or we will remove you by force. The pirate response came quickly. It was laughter. Cruel, mocking laughter. Humans, the primitives who just learned to fly between stars. We are 200 strong. You are nothing. We will crush you and take the world anyway. Taejin's face remained calm. You were warned. He closed the channel and looked at his crew. They were ready. Every station manned, every weapon powered, Every fighter prepped. All ships, he said into the fleet channel. Remember what we're fighting for. 3 billion innocent lives. That's worth everything. If we die today, we die protecting people who can't protect themselves. There's no better death. Respectfully, sir, Ki-1 said. We're not planning to die. No? Taejin asked. No, sir, the Marine commander said. We're planning to win. Around the bridge, crew members nodded. They weren't going to die. They were going to fight. And humans were very, very good at fighting. The fleet dropped out of FTL at the edge of Pluvian space. Ahead of them, the pirate armada was spreading out, preparing to attack the defenseless world below. Weapons hot, Heijin said. Fighters launch, Sang-ho reported. Marines ready, Ki-1 confirmed. Taejin sat in his command chair and gave the order that would change everything. All ships, engage. Show them what happens when you threaten the innocent. The battle for Pluvian space began. The first shots lit up the darkness of space. Human railguns fired at speeds that turned metal into lightning. Energy beams cut through pirate shields like they were paper. The pirates had expected a quick fight. They were wrong. Sang-ho led his fighter squadron into the heart of the enemy formation. His fighter twisted and spun through defensive fire, moving in ways that shouldn't be possible. Behind him, 20 other pilots matched his movements perfectly. Target their command ship, Sang-ho ordered. The big ugly one in the center. The fighters dove. Pirates tried to track them, but human pilots pulled 9 G-turns without slowing down. Their bodies handled the pressure. Their training handled the rest. Within seconds, they were past the defensive screen and locking weapons on the command vessel. Fox 3, Sang-ho said calmly, launching his missiles. 21 missiles hit the command ship at the same time. Its shields held for half a second. Then they collapsed, and the ship broke apart in a ball of fire. Command ship destroyed, Sang-ho reported, moving to secondary targets. On the Indomitable, Hyejin worked her weapons console with cold precision. Every shot was calculated. Every target was chosen for maximum effect. She didn't waste ammunition. She didn't miss. Target their engine clusters, she said to her crew. Disable them. Make them drift. Her guns spoke, and pirate ships started going dark. Not destroyed, but crippled. Floating helplessly in space. The pirates tried to return fire, but human ships moved like ghosts. They used the debris field from destroyed vessels as cover. They coordinated their movements with military precision that came from centuries of warfare. Incoming, Hyunwoo warned. 50 pirate ships breaking off to flank us. Let them come, Taejin said. The pirate ships thought they had found an opening. They charged forward, weapons blazing. Then 30 more human ships dropped out of FTL, right behind them. The merchant vessels and colony defense forces had arrived. They weren't military ships, but they were crewed by humans who knew how to fight. Mining lasers became weapons. Cargo haulers became rams. Every human ship became dangerous. This is Captain Min-ho of the freighter Steady Hand, a voice called over the comm. Sorry we're late. Where do you need us? Anywhere there's pirates, Taejin replied. Thank you for coming. Are you kidding? Min-ho laughed. We heard Deathworlders were fighting slavers. Wouldn't miss this for anything. The battle became chaos. 200 pirate ships against almost 50 human vessels. The numbers still favored the pirates, but numbers didn't matter when you were fighting humans. Ki-1's Marines boarded a pirate carrier. They moved through the corridors in perfect formation, their armor taking hits that would have killed most species. When pirates tried to fight hand-to-hand, they learned why you don't fight apex predators in close quarters. Carrier secured, Ki-1 reported. Found 200 slaves in the hold, requesting medical support. On the way, Yuna responded. Medical shuttles launched from the Indomitable. Yuna and her team worked under fire, pulling rescued slaves from pirate ships even as the battle raged around them. This one needs immediate treatment, Yuna called, working on a badly injured alien. She didn't even look up when an explosion rocked the shuttle. Her hands stayed steady. Her focus, absolute. Jia was everywhere at once. When a human ship took damage, she was there to fix it. When a system failed, she rerouted power. She worked in vacuum, in radiation, under fire. Nothing stopped her. "The Defiant is venting atmosphere," she reported. "I'm on it." She suited up and jumped from her ship to the damaged vessel, using just her suit thrusters to cross the gap. She sealed the breach in under 3 minutes, while enemy fire pinged off her armor. The pirates were starting to panic. Their command structure was gone. Their best ships were disabled. And the humans just kept coming. Wave after wave, never stopping, never slowing. "Retreat!" a pirate captain screamed. "These aren't normal species. These are demons." But retreating from humans was harder than fighting them. The faster pirate ships ran, the faster human fighters chased them. Sangho's squadron hunted down fleeing vessels like wolves chasing prey. "No one escapes," Sangho said coldly. "Not today." Sunmi coordinated everything from her intelligence station. She tracked every ship, every movement. When she saw pirate vessels trying to sneak away, she directed human forces to intercept. Nothing got past her. 3 pirates heading for the asteroid field, she reported, sending coordinates. A mining ship altered course. "We've got them. Those rocks are our territory." Taejin watched the battle display. The pirates were breaking. Some were running. Some were surrendering. A few were still fighting, but not for long. "All ships, maintain pressure," he ordered. "Don't let up until they're all gone or captured." On Pluvian, 3 billion people watched the battle in their sky. They saw the lights of combat. They saw ships burning and ships fleeing. They saw 17 human warships, outnumbered 10 to 1. Protecting a world that wasn't even their ally. Krixva stood on the Indomitable's bridge, watching everything. Tears ran down his face. Not from fear now, but from gratitude. These humans, these wonderful, terrifying humans, were fighting and dying for his people. "Why?" he asked Taejin. "Why do this? You don't owe us anything." "Because it's right," Taejin said simply. "Because we can. Because if we don't, who will?" A pirate dreadnought, the largest ship in their fleet, suddenly changed course. It was heading straight for the planet below, planning to take millions of hostages. "I've got it," Heijin said. "That ship is 10 times our size," Hyunwoo warned. "I know," Heijin replied. The Indomitable turned to intercept. Every weapon fired at once. The dreadnought's shields lit up like a star, holding against the assault. But human weapons didn't stop. They kept firing, kept hammering, each shot precisely placed to maximize damage. The dreadnought's shields failed, its armor cracked, its engines exploded. The massive ship broke apart before it could reach the planet. "Threat eliminated," Heijin reported, as calm as if she'd just swatted a fly. The battle lasted 47 minutes. When it ended, 130 pirate ships were destroyed or disabled. 70 had fled into deep space, and human ships were still hunting them. Not a single pirate reached Pluvian. Human casualties were light. A few injuries. No deaths. Their ships had taken damage, but nothing critical. They had faced impossible odds and won because that's what humans did. More importantly, they had rescued over 3,000 slaves from the pirate ships, beings from 17 different species, all saved from a life of suffering. "Medical teams, work with the freed slaves," Taejin ordered. "Engineering, help with repairs. Everyone else, maintain alert status until we're sure the pirates are gone." The Galactic Council had watched everything. Every species in the galaxy had access to the battle recordings. They saw humans fight with precision and power. They saw humans risk everything for strangers. They saw what Deathworlders could do when they chose to protect instead of conquer. A formal message arrived for Admiral Taejin. The council wanted to meet immediately. The meeting took place aboard a council vessel. Hundreds of species gathered to see the human admiral in person. Tae-jin stood before them in his uniform, looking tired but proud. "You violated your patrol orders," a council member said. "You engaged in combat without authorization." "Yes," Tae-jin said. "You risked your entire fleet for a world that isn't part of your alliance." "Yes." "Why?" Tae-jin looked at all the assembled species. "Because they needed help. That's all the reason we needed. You could have died. All of you. Better to die protecting the innocent than to live knowing we let them suffer." The council chamber was silent. Then Krixva stood up. The small Pluvian looked tiny among all these powerful beings, but his voice was strong. "I speak for my world," he said. 3 billion people owe their lives to humanity. These humans answered a distress call from strangers. They repaired our ship for free. They brought us home safely. And when danger came, they fought against impossible odds to save us. If this is what humans are, then the galaxy needs more of them, not less. One by one, other voices joined his. The freed slaves spoke. The species who had been watching spoke. They all said the same thing. Humans were different. Humans were special. Humans were exactly what the galaxy needed. The council voted. It was unanimous. Humanity was invited to join as peacekeepers, to help protect those who couldn't protect themselves, to be the shield for the weak and the sword against the wicked. Tae-jin accepted, but with conditions. "We won't be your soldiers," he said. "We'll be partners. We'll help anyone who asks. But we do it our way. With honor. With mercy. And we'll never ignore a distress call. No matter who sends it." The council agreed. Back on the Indomitable, the crew celebrated. They had won not just a battle, but something more important. They had shown the galaxy what humanity stood for. Krixva found Tae-jin in the observation deck, looking at the stars. "Thank you," the alien said. "For everything." "Thank you for calling," Tae-jin replied. "You reminded us why we're out here. What happens now?" "Now?" Tae-jin smiled. "Now we keep answering calls. Somewhere out there, someone else needs help. And when they call, we'll respond." "Someone? The entire fleet?" Krixva asked. "The entire fleet," Tae-jin confirmed. "That's what we do. That's what humans are." An alert sounded. Haewon's voice came over the comm. "Admiral, we're receiving a distress call. Unknown vessel. Life support failing. 3 systems away." Tae-jin and Krixva looked at each other and smiled. "All ships," Tae-jin ordered. "Set course for the distress signal. Maximum burn." "Sir," Hyunwoo said. "That's going to use a lot of fuel." "Then we'll use a lot of fuel," Tae-jin said. "Someone needs help. What else matters?" As the human fleet turned toward another rescue, another adventure, another chance to show the galaxy what kindness looked like, Krixva realized something important. The humans didn't call themselves heroes. They just called themselves people doing the right thing. But to everyone they saved, to every life they protected, they were something more. They were hope. They were safety. They were the answer to every prayer sent into the darkness. They were Deathworlders who chose to save instead of destroy, and the galaxy would never be the same.